Well, hey friends and neighbors, this is Chuck out at Sheridan Park Farms. Welcome back to the farm. Y'all ain't gonna believe it. We're having piglets. Hang around, let's show you. All right, y'all. So, what's going on over there now?
Well, that's why I said, oh no.
So, Newman, the guy that does our chores, was in this morning, and I was getting ready to go out of town because I had to go to a meeting. And he calls and says, this mama here is up here having piglets. So we came up, and I'll post some of that footage here right now. Sandra came up, done a little midwifing and all that kind of thing. And at last check, she had 7. Now, we've got this big girl here. Are they nursing on her?
No.
Huh? So now we got this big girl up here laying where the nest was.
I only see right there.
How many you got?
They're all there.
2, 4, 5, 6.
No, the 7
The other
ones
one's around
right
front
here.
there. So this big girl here, this little girl, this white girl, had 7 piglets this morning. And everybody's looking pretty good. This worries me about that big one laying there, don't
Yeah,
you?
it does me.
I mean, they'll start taking colostrum off her. We're going to have to get this girl here sequestered by herself, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But man, don't they look good?
It's interesting that she's not used this hay at all.
Yeah.
That's a girl, there's 2 boys. That's 2 and 2.
So what we done to provide her some nesting material. Now we knew she was pregnant, didn't we, Sandra?
Yeah.
We knew she was pregnant. We just didn't know she was this close. Because we were working on moving everybody down to the cattle barn. We knew she was close, so we brought up some hay, some old junky hay out of the horse barn this morning. Doesn't look like she's using any of it. Calling for rain tonight, some rain tomorrow. Luckily, we don't have any cold weather coming in the next couple days, do we?
No, not in over a week.
Yeah, no cold weather in over a week, but it's going to get wet. And we've had as much trouble out of rain as we have cold weather, haven't we? So I think we're going to bring a hut up.
I
Think that's what
guess.
we're gonna do?
Look at this.
I think we're going to bring a hut up and put her in a hut. That's a testament to that big pig's mothering instinct, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
I've got 2 huts. I think I'm going to bring them both up. We'll put this girl's babies in one, and then if somebody else wants to use the other one, there it'll be. That'll buy us some time on getting the barn up on it, getting ready to go down there. Okay. She don't like that, does she?
This is going to be a problem.
You ever seen anything?
Oh, me. There's 4 boys and 3 girls.
Okay. All right. Gonna work on moving huts.
I guess.
You think that's the thing to do?
I don't know.
Hard to know what to do, ain't it?
Yeah, it is. And see, these piglets are going to get crushed here in between these 2 big pigs. But we've talked about it, and instead of trying to get the cattle barn ready for them, we got 3 farrowing huts and the pig hut, the old pig hut here. And we're going to take this up to the shop and find a piece of sheeting put in the floor. And we're going to take this and 3 of our farrowing huts up to where all those mamas are at, and we're going to let them have them right there because we've looked at the weather, and hopefully it's not supposed to freeze or get real cold until middle of the week next week. So we'll see what happens. Whoa. Come on in. There you go. We may not get it to the shop. Just go easy. The things you get me into.
All right, through the magic of editing, and frankly, we didn't have time to stand around and explain a whole lot. But I braced it up in a couple of places where there were some big holes, just put some boards in there. And then I found a piece of plywood back there. We cut it down, stuck it in there, tacked it in a few places.
Good to go. Hey, number one, piglet nursery.
Better than what she's got.
Put it parallel that hay. Now back up, back up. That's all she needs.
Pig hut number one in place.
I think we're all right
Trying to rain.
for today. I don't think anybody's doing it.
She's looking awful close. Look at how bagged up she is.
Close.
Low hanging and all. All right.
For now. For now. We're losing daylight here. The But we've got one of the farrowing huts deployed now, and put a little hay in it. And we don't know who's going to be first. This one, the spotted one back there, or the red one laying down back yonder. But none of these girls have ever farrowed in the hut before. We hope they will, instead of eating it. What are you doing? Why are you eating it? This other little girl over here, she has not gone in her hut, but she has used some of the hay to make a little nest to keep the piglets covered up because it's raining here now. It's not supposed to get very cold tonight, which is a good thing, because piglets can handle cold or they can handle rain, but they can't handle cold rain in the first 3 to 4 days. So we'll see what everything looks like in the morning.
All right, we're the next morning. From what you just saw, that sow, or that she was a gilt. That gilt ended up having 7. So I'm going to go out and get that other hut that we've got. We moved one of those up last night, you saw. I'm going to go get that other one and move it up. Sondra's gone to the farmer's market this morning. I've got another project that I'm going to be working on here after a while. That'll be a totally separate video. But let's grab that other hut, take it up. We'll check on those piglets and see how they're doing. Our concern now is that those other 3 sows, the 3 older ones, the 3 bigger ones, should be within about 21 days of being bred, 21 days of farrowing if they're bred, and we feel pretty confident that they all are. So we've got to try to get some shelter, some spaces, and some of that kind of thing ready for them to have those piglets in. So that's kind of the project for today. But let's get that hut moved, and we'll check on that mom and see how those piglets are doing overnight. We had a pretty good night last night. It did rain, but it didn't get very cold. I think the low last night was about 44. She had plenty of hay. So we'll just have to see how they're done. They should be okay. I expect a little loss. I mean, that's just the way it always goes. Fingers crossed, but let's get to work, check on them, see how they're doing this morning. All right, just like the other one, we got an eye bolt back here. We got our strap hooked into it. We're under it with the forks. They ride pretty good. I mean, they're just kind of bulky and awkward. So. Problem's getting it over that fence right there, getting over the gate. You got to lift it up pretty high. So. See how it goes. Finger masher right there. All right, got it up here. It rained last night, and coming around the curve as I was coming in down there, the tractor actually slipped and slid a little bit. Thank God for 4-wheel drive and a big heavy tractor, but it was a little sketchy kind of getting it up here. Let me translate that for you guys that wear skinny jeans. Bruh, it was sus. You're seeing her for the first time just like I am this morning. Oh, she ain't happy that we're coming around. Oh, look at all the piggies. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I know there's another one in front of her, 6. 1, 4, 5, 6, 7. We got 7. They all made it through the night last night. I'm leaving her alone. All right, so when I came up, big spot over here, one of our experienced sows had made her way over into one of the huts and spent the night in the hut last night. So good sign. I'm gonna get some hay. We'll fill that one up. We'll get these big girls some feed, and they'll be off and running for the day. So, man, they all made it. I know that's just one night, but let me tell y'all, getting through that first night, especially with rain like we had last night, we put that hut over there, she didn't use it, but getting through that first night, that's huge. That's huge. We're gonna have a nice day today. We're gonna be in the mid 60s. I think we got a little shower coming in this afternoon. But the more time that these piglets have to get a little age, a little weight, a little strength, and most importantly, mobility, that's the key. For the first 72 hours, they're pretty fragile, particularly related to mom, and mom's sitting on them, laying on them, squishing them. But once they get about 72 hours, we found their mobility is enough, they can get out of her way pretty quick. So, one day down, 2 to go, fingers crossed. All right, there they are. Whew. I tell you, I was nervous. Quite frankly, sometimes whenever we have piglets like that, I don't want to go. I don't want to go the next morning, or if we've had a bad weather. And I know this is copping out, but I don't want to go. I don't want to find something tragic. And so this morning, Sandra was gone, so I couldn't send her. But luckily, all 7 made it through the night last night. That's good stuff. So, you know, we've talked in other videos about cutting back on pigs and not doing as many pigs and that kind of thing. And we are. You know, we're trimming back. I'm not keeping 10 and 12 brood sows. You know, we've got the 3, accidentally the 4, which is 1 more than we wanted. But, you know, she was pregnant, so we had to give her a chance. And daggum, she's a good mom. I mean, she's a real good mom. She laid down, had 7, didn't have to have any intervention. And whenever you go around, she is up and alert and grunting and don't want you near those piglets. And so she's turning out to be a really good mom. She may be a keeper. But what I was saying was, you know, we've talked about cutting back on pigs, and we are. I don't know how many piglets we're going to have, or how all that's going to work out. Time will tell. We had hoped to have a little litter of piglets here in the spring, to have a few to grow out and some of that sort of thing. So we're off and running. We got 7. We've got 7, and they are looking really good. Still got a couple of days before we sort of get through that that kind of red zone, I guess you would call it, until they get a little bit more mobility, a little bigger, a little stronger. But this has ended up working out pretty good. And we got those 2 huts in place. I've got 1 more of those huts. We built those. Those huts came from a plan. I didn't buy the plan, I watched the video. Jordan Green had done a video on building those years ago, and I watched and watched and watched that same video over and over and over again, and was able to figure out how to build that, and we ended up building 3 of them. And they, you know, they're rough, but man, I've never had a pig complain yet. And it does provide a little bit of shelter for those moms to get in out of the cold, get in out of the wind, get in out of the rain, and have those piglets in a little more comfortable environment. So I'll put some hay in that other one here in just a few minutes, and we'll be off and running. Big Spot spent the night in one of them last night, so she knows exactly what to do. But anyway, spring it's not here officially on the calendar, but man, we're off and running with the babies, and excited to have baby piglets back on the farm. It's been a while since we've had a batch of piglets. So, like we always say, please keep us in your prayers. Pray for those piglets that they get through a couple more days. And we'll see you on the next video.